Hey, Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6. So, where we left off, we were in the process of finishing up our Ancestral Hall. We had finished our trader. We were in the process of building a campus and a holy site. So let's go to the next turn. I do kind of wish this campus was a, I do kind of wish this campus was a, holy site now that I was thinking about it, but it should be fine. So, unit needs orders over here. I want to turn you into an archer next turn, because that'll get me the point with Muscat, which will net me an extra 4 gold per turn. So, I have my builder over here, and I'm going to move him up to London. Well, down or up, or the direction is irrelevant. But yeah, we're going to start chopping in London, so that we can start spamming out settlers next turn. Otherwise, we're going to spread our religion to Muscat, because we want our religion to spread across the world. We're going to keep exploring here with our little galleys. Oh, hello Valletta. Now, this is exactly what I was hoping to find. This is going to give me a lot of production towards my settlers. This is going to give me +2 base, but in actuality, like 4 production. So I'm going to send them an envoy, because I want that +2 production when I'm building settlers, and I want that to kick in next turn immediately when I start building settlers. So it's going to take 8 turns, according to this. That'll be way faster than that. So it says 8 turns right now. It's actually going to be 6 turns. We're getting 11.4 production, which is really, really nice. So we're going to be able to spam villagers. This is an Age of Empires. I'm going to upgrade my archer. This will cost me 1 gold per turn in maintenance, but it will get me an envoy with Muscat, which will give me +4 gold per turn. So by spending 45 gold, I get +3 gold per turn, essentially, roughly thereabouts. There could be a little bit of a wiggle room based on, amenities and stuff like that, because I do have a negative amenity here, so I'm probably losing like 0.1 thingy. But, that's neither here nor there. So, Magnus is established with his wonderful +50... God damn it, phone, shut up! With his wonderful +50% plot harvest and feature removals in the city. So that means from these jungles, we're not going to get quite as much production as we would if this was a, for example, heavily forested city, but jungles are going to do the trick. This is going to give us 31 production towards the settler and make him pop out nice and quick. So... In terms of what the next stuff that we want to pick up are, I would like to pick up irrigation, but I would also like to get this boost, because one of the things requires it for an envoy. I would like to unlock the Celestial Navigation so that I can start getting Royal Navy dockyards. I would also like to get my hands on some of these later things, but I'm going to just have to think inside the box rather. So I'm going to pick up currency here, because it is a useful technology to pick up in terms of gold generation for non-coastal cities. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to go for Celestial Navigation. Never mind. I changed my mind. Spread to Muscat. And now we have a couple of cities following our religion. And now we have plenty of pressure over here. So these cities are going to pick up my religion relatively quickly. It will take a while, but, it's not going to take too long, particularly because the amount of pressure we should be generating should go up over time. Zanzibar. I did not meet Zanzibar first, but they have a quest, and what is your quest, Zanzibar? Send a trader. That's not going to happen. We have secured ourselves a golden age for the medieval era, which is really, really important, because we're saving up all the faith that we can so that we can purchase things like builders and settlers and all that jazz, and we're also making our way towards feudalism as fast as we can, because we want to get that before we start faith purchasing all those builders. So, let's head to here and chop that next turn. That'll pop out that settler. We'll go a little bit of exploration around this way. We'll keep exploring down this way. There's Norway. So his capital's all the way over here. I'm going to make a deal with you. I'm going to say open borders. That's okay for 1 gold per turn. That's reasonable. And I'm going to... I can't afford a delegation, so open borders will just have to do. Unfortunately. We're going to chop this rainforest. This is going to give me another settler. Now, there's a few places I could settle. I do want to kind of secure my own main island, and I'm going to have to think about where exactly I want to settle, because there's not a whole lot of amenities down here, but I do want to secure this ivory. At least one copy of this ivory would be really, really nice, because I don't see much ivory around. And so securing at least one copy will get me the +4 amenities. But there's also some coffee here that I'm going to be able to get. I don't need to settle on it. I could settle on the cotton. This would get me the cotton pretty early, and it would also give me access to fresh water eventually. I don't think settling on the cotton is the right move here, though. Not if I want to go wide, and that would kind of block me from settling over here. But let's have a look at the appeal. Appeal map mode. You know what? There's some decent national parks and all that sort of stuff. So I think I'm going to settle on this marsh and put a holy site right there. Maybe right there. It depends. I'll figure it out exactly, but we'll sort of go along with that plan. And then we're going to get a settler, another one in 5 turns. Excellent. We're settling late in this game, which is unusual for me. I normally like to settle early, but I've been kind of trying out the later settling strategies because I don't know. I don't have any problems beating Deity really ever, so I figured I may as well just try new stuff and see what we can pull off. I guess, you know, we'll see how it goes. I would prefer to chop tiles that I'm not currently working, so I'm going to run down here and chop this. I'm going to move here. I'm going to go to the unit needs orders. I'm going to scooch up to the north here a little bit. We're going to go unit needs orders. We're going to scooch over here to the east a little bit. I'm kind of just getting some exploration, trying to find new city-states, new land to settle. That would be really, really nice too. We have plenty of options to settle on right now, which is very, very nice. Lots of sort of middle latitude land, which is good for cities. Generally speaking, the further from the middle you are, the lower quality the land is in my experience, because it starts to give way to like tundra and desert. You'll notice like as the further you get away from this sort of middle area, I find you're more likely to find desert and tundra. Whereas if you stick around this sort of mid-section of the map where the jungle is, you're generally speaking going to get a lot of really nice plains. I also tend to find that you get more plains in the northern hemisphere, but that just might be like my mental bias, because it seems like it's actually pretty well distributed here. Okay, keep exploring. Okay, you can't explore there, but you can just pop up here. We've got 12 to 30 turns-ish till we get this. Now, I think this is about to finish. How much science am I getting from this, right? I'm currently getting 5.2 science at a loss of 2.9, 3. So like I'm losing about 3.3 science for our culture for 5.2 science. And so I think at this point I'm making enough science that I can get rid of this card and slot in something like +1 production, because this is now becoming highly valuable because I have a bunch of cities, or at least I'm starting to get a reasonable number of cities. I also want to make sure that I get a theater square relatively soon. I would like to earn as many of those great people as possible. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to slot in. Now I could also put in the autocratic legacy. This also has a really high yield because it would get me faith, it would get me gold, it would get me culture, it would get me science, it would get me food, it would get me production, it would get me... In fact, this, in theory, this is actually better for me in terms of raw value than the +1 production in every city. However, right now, production is worth the most it's ever going to be worth, right? So production, current turn production is worth more than any future turn worth of production as a general rule. So I feel like if I get more production spread out, I'll get more return on that production. And it'll speed this city up quite a bit, actually, because it's relatively slowly building this. You know, I'm actually kind of tempted to go for the food here. 18 turns of growth feels like a very long time for me. Whereas I think I'm happy to sacrifice the science and the gold and the 1 production for the extra 1 food. Just so that I grow a little bit quicker. Because growth is a sort of thing that appreciates in value very, very quickly. You know, the faster you grow, the more return you get on it and all that sort of jazz, so it's really, really nice. Now, if I settle here, this captures quite a lot of tiles. I can definitely fit in at least 2 more cities down here. And so I will do that. We're going to grab the settler. Sorry, not the settler. We're going to grab the granary because we have the overflow to get it in 1 turn. And if we get it in 1 turn, that means we're going to open this city up. And since we have been chopping these, by letting the city grow more, we're going to get more yields from every angle, right? And it'll mean we can also build another district in the relatively soon compared to what we were sort of expecting. I'm feeling pretty good about the status of the game right now. I think we're making reasonable progress. I think the only thing I'm really lacking is a theater square, which I think I can get in my capital within the next few turns. Now, here's Celestial Navigation. Okay, we can get the Royal Navy Dockyards. I don't think I'm going to go for that just yet. I would like to get it. It's not a major concern right now. I'm going to settle this city right here in Bristol. I'm going to work the horses. What I'm going to do is maybe use like 2 build charges here. At the very least, I'm going to get the horses upgraded because that's just a no-brainer. It makes the city really, really, really good to start off with. And then I might just send this builder up here to continue to help the capital. Now, I also want to pick up masonry here so that I can chop this stone. This stone is going to be really high value for building settlers. Okay, you keep it going that way. So now the city will grow, which is really, really good. And we're also going to go ahead and pick up... I could get builders. That would let me develop this land over here a little bit. I could shunt a builder across the land here, improve these 2 wheat resources, and then get the cotton. I think I'm going to grab a builder. I think that's my best move right now. Even though these are really high value buildings. I think sending a builder out, I think getting builders right now is totally reasonable. Because the sooner I get those builders out, the better. These are 4-charge builders, so this is the most efficient place in my empire to build builders right now. So this is where I'm going to be building them from. Now, in terms of this city, I think I am going to chop that jungle so that I can place a holy site down. But what I'm going to get started on is a... What are you? I want to get the holy site right there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple of turns into a granary so the city can grow a lot. I want to go sort of growth-centric maybe this game. Then we're going to improve this farm. You're going to come down here and continue to fog bust for my settlers. Okay, there is Japan. I can send him a delegation. This will improve my relationship with him. I can also make a deal here for open borders. They will expect 1 gold. Can I get away with like giving you like 7 gold? Can I just give you a little bit? 19 gold. 17? 16. 15. 14. 15 gold for open borders. Okay, that's reasonable. And what this will do is it will mean that we have a reasonable diplomatic relationship with them. Now, I think Norway I didn't manage to get a thingy with, but now we have a smiley face with Japan, which is really great. Let's declare a friendship with them. Excellent. So we have a friendship with Japan. That's going to mean that they cannot declare war on me. It's also going to make us have better relationships throughout the game because we have a declared friendship. So I want to build a farm here. Alternatively, I could harvest here and get the city up to another pop. Well, we've hit a growth limiter in this city because we're at negative amenities, so we have a pretty big multiplier here. Oh, it tells you right here the food you need to grow population. Very nice. Cool. I have a video coming out about this thing, the food consumption and growth and all that sort of jazz and the multipliers that I want to look into and really dig into and have a full sort of exploratory thing. Now, there is a problem. Okay? The problem with this right here is the appeal. Okay? This tile is spreading negative appeal. because it's a marsh. So I kind of feel like I need to get rid of the marsh eventually. I think for now, keeping it as a farm is going to be fine because that'll give me the boost for irrigation, which will net me a envoy with this city-state of Lisbon. Yeah, trigger a Eureka for irrigation. Really nice. This is also just going to give me more food, which is nice. I would like to improve these bananas as well, just for the temporary housing boost it'll give me, or potentially the fish for the temporary housing boost, just so I could grow a little bit more. Unit needs orders here. Let's keep scouting. Is Fukuoka. Okay, go this way. Ikuetsuocha, we have sent you a delegation. Your delegation is absolutely welcome, Japan. Absolutely welcome. Well, things are going really well. All right, 8 turns until the classical era ends. This is good in the sense that we'll have an opportunity to get a lot of builders. We'll have a golden age. In fact, we'll have a heroic age, which is even better than I had planned for, all things considered. Let's move you over here. So the next city that I'm settling, I want to claim as much of the land as possible, but I would like to be coastal. This is a really good holy site location. So I'm thinking coastal on the wheat. Does mean I give up the wheat tile, but it means I still grab all these tiles. I'm coastal, and I get a really good holy site location. So I think that's totally acceptable. Let's go this way. Unit needs orders. We have plenty of faith to spend here in the medieval era, which I'm excited about. Let's move over that way. Oh, I could, for some reason, it wouldn't let me go onto that thingy. Weird. Even though I've open borders. Odd. Odd. Classic era ends. Looks like somebody built Stonehenge and Apadana. We're a little bit light on amenities. Speaking of amenities, let's pick up irrigation so that we can improve this coffee luxury. Let's get these improved. I'm going to chop here. Now, it is a suboptimal chomp, but the big advantage here is that it's going to grow the city, it's going to finish the granary faster, and it's going to allow me to place down the holy site without wasting a jungle chop. So this is a growth-centric city, I think. Now, in terms of what this builder's going to go, he's going to go chop that stone for the city of London. That'll let me another settler a little bit quicker. I think in general things are going really, really well. I would like to have my boats back home to protect any of the settlers I send across the water. So I'm going to see if I can kind of make my way in the general direction of home over the next few turns. I think I want you to stand on that copper because that'll open up the fog busting. Well, I guess the fog busting is fine. Yeah, he thinks my seas are unprotected, which is kind of mirrors what I was feeling just there earlier, right? Is that I'm worried about my settlers being captured as I traverse the water. Okay, we're exploring. There's irrigation, awesome. Now we can improve things like the coffee. Go there. One more turn until the settler is done. Oh, sorry, builder is done, and the settler. In fact, lots of things are happening next turn. So let's talk about potential directions for us to go. The medieval era is opening up right now. That means these technologies are going to be available for us to research. Is there a critical research for a victory type that we're going for in the medieval era? Well, really, I would like an industrial zone or two. The industrial zone really has some negative consequences for a tourism victory. However, it can be useful because it allows you to get your hands on great engineers like Isidore of Miletus. So I think making my way generally towards apprenticeship, that's going to work out in my favor. I have the 2 boosts for workmen, for currency and horseback riding. And so I'm going to make my way towards apprenticeship. I do need to think carefully about what sort of units I need to have. Like, for example, I want to get ironworking if I plan on settling on any foreign continents, which I have not really found any foreign continents. This is really weird. This is all just one continent. That is so strange. Is my game bugged? I think my game is bugged. I might have to do like a fresh install of the game or something. Because this should not all just be Pangea. There should be different continents. It could be the yet not another maps pack mod. I might have to take that out and see if that makes things better. I'm also going to want to get ancient walls and stuff like that up in my empire. Not now, but in the nearish future. It's a priority once I've got everything sort of settled in. So I think I could go for the Royal Navy Dockyard. Now that would allow me to get the lighthouse, which for some reason still doesn't give me food and gold. I feel like there's some bug causing my lighthouses to not give food and gold. I need to figure out what's causing that. But anyway, we would get we could get this in 4 turns. How much production we've got? A decent amount. We're getting +2 from modifiers. So I'll take okay. So we could get the extra trader, right? We could spend a bit of time, or we could just keep getting settlers. Place down a theater square here, get a +2 adjacency. Now that will kill a tile. That would be a good seaside resort, but I'm banking on the theater square generating more culture over the course of the game. It's going to place that theater square. We're not going to build it yet, but we are going to build it eventually. So I want to try to kill tiles that aren't useful for my victory. This sheep tile is not really useful for my victory type. I'm going to send you over here. I do need amenities. I also need builders. I'd love to get a holy site. Let's keep getting builders here. This is the city where I just get builders. It's going to be, just a way for me to improve my empire generally. I need to send another guy down here. If I'm going to settle right here, that's going to leave me open to a few choices down here. And I do want to send at least one more settler down south. I think this is an acceptable way to go. Just pop up on there and they'll be fine. Let's move this archer over there. Kind of start making your way up to my city. I have a bit of a sore throat. It's been kind of persisting for a while, which is at least partly why I didn't record any Civ. But, we'll just have to kind of... Oh, I didn't mean to move off of that. That was actually a mistake. So let's be daring and dashing and sort of indiscreet here and move our settler through the water. Move up this way, we'll go to the next turn. Now we're about to hit the medieval era, which is when a lot of things are going to open up for us, particularly in the faith purchasing department. If I harvest this is going to be 94, and then I'll finish a settler. So I have my own main island fully settled. I definitely want to get these elephants. I have my own main island basically fully settled at this point. So what do I want to do with my next settler? That's sort of the question we have to ask ourselves and answer. But we converted another city to my religion. That means my faith is spreading even further and even faster, which is really nice. I really like this religious settlements thing. So there's a barbarian outpost, and we know that it's beside horses, so there's likely to be horsemen here, so this will be a pain in the ass to try to settle this. If we go for the settler map mode, I don't want to settle over here. So what are we looking for, right, when we're trying to settle here? We're looking for luxuries, we're looking for good tiles, natural wonders, all that stuff. Like, this has some of what we want. It has, like, amber and turtles, but it's all, like, crappy, tiny desert islands. Whereas over here, this is a little bit more manageable. If we look at the appeal here, this actually has some pretty damn good appeal. So we could definitely squeeze in a city here. Maybe like right there, that would capture the maximum number. That would basically block all these tiles off, and that would be a lot of seaside resorts in a single city. So I think that's going to work for me. I think I'm going to go for this settle right here. I'm going to put a pin down right there just so I don't forget. There you go. So this is going to be where we settle. With this guy. Now I have a boat nearby-ish. I think I'm going to take the risk and send this settler off blind. Because the payoff is high enough for me to take that risk. And we're going to keep making settlers. Similarly, the payoff here, if I get here a few turns early, is really, really high. So I want to chop this forest so that I can place down my holy site. And I want to go for a growth-centric game, so that's why I'm prioritizing granaries in some of these cities. Governor title. Promoting Liang could be a good move. Appointing a Mani could also be a really good move. Like, for example, are there any of these cities things? City center buildings and encampment district buildings can be bought with faith. Like, this could be really nice if I went for Valletta. This would let me faith purchase some more stuff. So I think I'm going to put a Mani in Valletta. I had to stretch there. So I think I'm going to put Valletta, or I'm going to put Valletta in a Mani. Whew, that's a magic trick. No, I'm going to put a Mani in Valletta. Now, we're about to hit the medieval era. So that's worth considering. I'm going to move you over here to Fogbust a little bit and keep an eye on the coastline in case I spot an enemy. I may as well go ahead and get this online early. Okay, there's the medieval era. So what we're going to pick up here is we are going to pick up monumentality. This will give us the purchasing of civilian units with faith. In particular, builders and settlers are 30% cheaper to build, to purchase. I'm also going to pick up the pen, brush, and voice. This is going to let me get a little bit more culture. A little bit more culture out of my current stuff. And then I'm also going to pick up free inquiry because this will mean commercial hubs and harbor districts. Gold adjacency provides science as well. So that's really, really nice. Now, defensive tactics. I would like to get the Mausoleum of Harlequinassus. It's really just not in my sort of build right now. I'm going to bank on potentially the AI not getting it until quite a bit later. Now, I want to get Moksha so that I can spread my religion around a little bit. So I'm going to put him in Birmingham. And what he'll do is he'll just make that little bit of extra pressure that'll make cities like this one convert just that little bit quicker. Now, Japan is also spreading, looks like Buddhism, and looks like somebody else is spreading Shinto. And even, wow, even Hinduism. Interesting. But we have a little bit of a pressure advantage, it looks like. Maybe not a little bit, but, you know, it'll be fine. We should be able to hold off. Let's go ahead and build a plantation. That's going to give us an amenity here that's going to reduce the penalty that we're suffering in some of our cities. Well, probably not reduce the penalty, but at least get us closer to where we need to be in terms of amenities. Let's go ahead and move here. I think I'm going to settle on these floodplains. Not exactly ideal territory over here. But it's kind of like the best I've got in order to secure this ivory. It'll be fine. This will probably be just like a gold generation city, although I can't build a commercial hub here, so that's actually really obnoxious. Damn. This city would be way better, but I would miss out on the elephants. I'd have to send another settler down here to get the elephants. Are there any elephants around? Well, there's some over here, and I could grab those relatively easily. This is just way better for gold generation. Plus it has room for potentially a wonder or two. Yeah, I think we're going to go down here. Decision made. Let's chop this. That'll basically finish the granary, and then let me go for the holy site. I want a lot of faith generation if I can manage it in this era. Every little bit of faith that I can make is really, really nice. I think I'm going to purchase a... Ooh, I could purchase a settler. Oh, there's a thought. There's a thought. definitely considering settling over there. Do I purchase the settler? Yeah, I feel like the sooner I get those settlers out, the better value you get from them. There's marble over here that I could also potentially pick up. Probably not. Maybe I'll wait a turn or two just while I think about exactly where I want to send that settler. But yeah, in general, I think we're off to a really good start here. It's maybe not like the best or fastest start, but I think it's got some potential here. Now, we do need to be careful, because somebody is going to start... Yeah, and here it is. Somebody is going to start generating great rider points, so that's something we need to be mindful of. Now, interestingly enough, they're only generating great rider points. So I'm not sure how they're doing that without generating other sort of artistry points. There must be some kind of wonder. Yeah, they must have picked up the Great Library. Yeah. So that's not like... I'm not super concerned about that. Not super concerned about this. Okay. We're going for feudalism. That means I want to hold off on purchasing builders for about 14 turns until I can slot in the +2 builder charges, and then that'll be extremely high value. So I think I'm going to purchase myself a settler. That'll add an extra turn to this settler, but it'll save a turn on the settler. I might even purchase a second settler by the time feudalism rolls around with this faith income before I start purchasing builders. So we have a lot of settle potential, and I'm really excited for that. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. I think we're going to have a lot of cities, we're going to have a lot of room, we're going to have a lot of navy, a lot of stuff to play with in general, you know? I do also need to explore up this way, which I think is worth purchasing a scout for. Because if I discover some really good city locations up here, that will be like potentially redirecting settlers. And I also have to think in sort of short-term, long-term ideas. These cities are going to have really high yields over the course of the game, so I need to be thinking about that. Let's go ahead and improve that farm. That's going to give me a decent chunk right there. And then we'll improve this farm here. Look at this farm yield. Oh my god, it's beautiful. We're also almost finished this holy site. I think my empire is shaping up to have a lot of potential. A lot of potential here. So I guess the only thing I can really put here is a farm. So that's totally acceptable. And what that'll do is it'll give the city the growth that it needs to get to, say, 3-4 pop-ish until it can get its hands on something like the sheep tile, etc. But yeah, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. I'm having a lot of fun making this series. I'm really enjoying getting back into Civ 6, and I'm really enjoying playing Victoria. So let me know what your thoughts are on the series. Go ahead and leave a comment. What would you like to see in this series? What do you think of me going for a cultural victory? And, you know, just general sort of stuff. Did you miss me? I missed all of you guys so very much. Other than that, though, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos. Remember to leave a like if you want to directly support my channel. And don't forget that I love each and every one of you with all of my heart. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.